Hello race fans, RC fans, Racing 393. And look at this picture. This is amazing. Well, bit of a spoiler alert actually. That's what the car currently looks like from the recording of this video. And we can see throughout the video how we get there. So this is part 5. Oh, before I carry on. For some reason, someone in the comments in another video asked me, dude, why do you keep wearing a hat indoors? Huh? I like hats. Lots of people wear hats. Wearing a hat indoors? I don't know. Who else does that? I wonder why that was asked. But I just do. Why do you wear socks indoors? Why do you wear pants? Anyway, what part are we on? I digress. Part 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this part 5 of the series, I think it's part 2 of the sort of build of the car, but over the course of the duration of this sort of series of Super Champ videos, we get it finally to the pitch you see there. I've enjoyed this build. It's one of those, I don't know, I've built, well, I say, and I think I said in another video, I don't think I've actually built an SRB. Now the strange thing is because when I first got my sand sculpture, my dad built it. I was probably 11 at the time. Yeah, probably about 11. I don't know. So whether he would have trusted me with the tools, I don't know. Whether I would have known what to do, I don't know. I just looked at a box of bits. I can remember seeing, oh my god. And when you start building like shock absorbers and other things like that, and all the wiring, it just wouldn't have actually meant anything to me. So back in those days, it was built for me, although I was observing, I was watching. And since then, I've built other cars, but never got round to building an SRB chassis. The Super Champ, as it was then, that's what it was called, it was probably out of date by the time I realised, oh, that I used to like that Super Champ, or the Rough. I mean, it wasn't really the Rough Rider, as I've alluded to other videos. It was the Volkswagen or the Super Champ. Don't even think I saw pictures properly of the truck, the 150, the Ford Ranger, until afterwards, before I'd even thought about the Super Champ. So my knowledge was not, well, a bit like now, I suppose, but my knowledge wasn't that vast. But this is the first time I've actually built an SRB. Now, this isn't technically an SRB, special racing buggy. Well, it is. It is a special racing buggy. But there's arguments of whether or not this is an SRB chassis. But anyway, this is the first time I've actually built one from scratch, from new, as an adult. So the Super Champ was in the sort of the list of buggies, the most expensive one at the time. Upon building it, yeah, I suppose because of the single shock, the mono shock, just the way the suspension is at the back, it's got a different rear cage on it, it's got a top deck, it's a little bit more professional than just chuck it all in a box and use it. Well, it wasn't quite chucked in a box, but I thought at the time it was why haven't other cars done that? All the electrics in a box. Because I used to use my sand sculpture in all weathers. Snow, ice, rain, mud. It didn't matter. Now, 2 reasons. One, well, they're quite expensive. 2, well, it's probably more than that, maybe 3 reasons. 2, I can't be bothered to clean them all up properly. As you know, I use them and then clean them to store them. than to use them. I don't mind doing restorations, but that's a different story. 3, well, I don't know. The electrics can cope with the water, so I think I just can't be bothered to clean them. That's why. Anyway, where am I going with the intro? I hope you enjoy this video. I've tried to cut it down a little bit more so it's not so long-winded. It still ended up about 20 minutes, 19 minutes or so. But I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified of when perhaps the final part of this series will be released. So I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you.
Right, here we are. Part 5 or 6, or whatever this is, but part 2 of the build. Step 13. So I've got to make some leaking oil-filled shocks. I'm going to do my best to... Actually, what was I going to do? I was going to do this... I can still... I've got that to put on the rear, but if it's got anything by, you know, what else I've got on here, nothing fits. So... I'll come back to that in a minute, but I'm going to build the front end up, which is pretty much SRB spec. So I'm going to probably build this and get it to the point where I'm going to bolt it on the chassis. There's no point going through this because everyone's probably built an SRB. Possibly, you know, I don't know. Shocks are shocks, aren't they, on these ones? Yeah. I'm going to build the front as on the box here, which you can't see. Get it to so that I can put it on the front of the chassis, because it goes on the front of the chassis and then it's got the front bumper, which I'm not using, but I might do. It depends if this one fits. Right, okay. Front. Let me crack on with that, and then I'll come back with some updates on this rear anti-roll bar. It's gone together quite well. No leaks, nice and smooth. Haven't quite done these up fully yet. I've got to kind of get this square. Good. All good, right. It's about putting it on the chassis, and I've got a servo saver to build. So, right. Step 18. Another upgrade, which is the servo saver. As I've said, that's done. This is another day now, so I can't remember what I said before. So that's all good. And the servo saver's built. That's got to be a certain length. There. But yeah, that's the new one. That's the aluminum servo saver. Now we've got to put it onto the chassis. Got to make some tie rods. They're non-adjustable on this one, but you can upgrade them. I won't bother at the moment, but I'm going to make the tie rods, and then effectively I'm going to bolt the whole thing to the front chassis, which is behind me. So that'll be good. It'll start to look like what it's supposed to. You forget how detailed they all are. I mean, that suspension feels pretty good. It's a shame that these leak. There's a small amount of play there. Look in the shock. Yeah, anyway, let's move on. So finally it's starting to look like a car a little bit with the front and rear on. Looks alright. These surprise you how well they're built. You've got to remember, this is designed back in the early 80s, and if this was those SRB cars, if they're the first things you've built, although half of the hop-ups wouldn't have been available then what they are now, that's still an awesome build. It's clean. I don't remember them shocks feeling that good. I can probably see why they leak, because there's no real system to them. They just sort of resist the oil inside the chamber. There's no like damping. Even the rear ones, it's not great, but it'll be alright once everything's on and it's sitting. Might be a little bit springy, but yeah. It looks alright, doesn't it? What do you think of these chassis? I think that looks. Can I tip it up? Well, these bearings keep falling out, but yeah. Now it does say now to put the front bumper on. Now I've got two choices here. The front bumper I've chosen might not fit, and I've got the rear anti-roll bar which might not fit. So you already know that this won't fit this. So oh well, I'll chuck that in there for a minute. Now I've got this front bumper. There's no reason why that shouldn't fit, because that should fit anything. The front of an SRV is the same on everything. This is aftermarket. Well, they all are, but this, you know what I mean? This is not designed. Well, none of it's designed to go on now, I suppose. But I think I might try the front bumper first, because this could be a bit of a mission. There's no instructions. It's just like a few bits in there. Anyway, let's try the front bumper. So before you, I know what you're going to say. This is for the sand sculpture. I know. But there's nothing to say you couldn't have that on this car. It gives it that aluminium look. So there's no reason at all why that shouldn't look alright. It's a bit awkward to fit. It's like most Chinese stuff, isn't it? It's sort of like an afterthought. No, it's like aftermarket, but afterthought. You know, things are just awkward. It's a bit rubbish underneath. I don't quite know. I don't know another way that can be done. Maybe. No. Unless you got the ideas. Have I done anything wrong? It's just a bit bitty, isn't it? It could do with like a skid plate on there now. I mean, I've got these holes here as well that hold the front suspension on, and they're threaded. But I don't know. Should I put anything on there? I can't. I think that's where the bumper goes. The original front bumper. Pretty sure. But I might be able to put some bolts in there just to show willing. But anyway, that's the first afterthought. What do you think? I mean, I'm trying to imagine what it looked like with a lower sort of shell, well, because the bar jar, the bug, sort of fills that in, doesn't it? But yeah, I mean, it matches it. I mean, it's like it's supposed to be there, but it's not. So that's that bit. What's next? The afterthought rear anti-roll bar. You know what? I keep showing like the camera. That's what I should be doing. I keep showing like the lens. No, that's wrong. I keep showing the screen. Like I'll go over there, but it should be there. And I've always done that. Absolutely freaking useless. Anyway, I've got no idea how this is going to fit. Well, it's for the Sand Sculpture and the Rough Rider, and it's the same rear gearbox. At the bit where it's going to fit, you've got these pickups here. I think that's where maybe the original shocks fitted there, like these ones, back on the other. You know, the other ones like the Rough Rider, Sand Sculpture had these on the back, but it also had like a torsion spring underneath the box, didn't it, as well? So, but you know, the bearings have fell out, but we'll sort that out. So I think it fits off there. So I'm gonna hiss half around trying to fit this on now. So I'll be back. I'm not going to show you how it's done because I don't know, but I'm back when it is. So first off, I thought I'd show you this. So I had to take the rear crash structure off anyway. I'll try to do it with it on there. It's just too fiddly. So you've got the same brackets on there. They give you another over bracket.
Oh, the arrow picture. So this is where I'd already mucked up. The bit you can see there that the arrow is pointing to, it's super fiddly to put on, but I can tell you now, it's upside down. So it has to go the other way. We've got to flip it 180 degrees. Of course, whilst I'm building it, I didn't know that. I didn't know that until it all went back on. So you can feel the frustration building in my voice, maybe, to rectify it after getting
like a
this far, because I
plastic one,
didn't
which is in
realise
between
until I put
here.
it all back together. And then,
And then,
well,
you see that
you'll
on there?
find out, but the links weren't long
And then you've got
enough.
like a, it's not carbon fibre, but it's a brace that goes on, and the roll bar, anti-roll bars will go through here. Now I might have to dismantle this anti-roll bar to get it on there. So it's going to go on like this at the top, but they've got to thread through. I'm not sure it's going to be that easy. Yeah, I'm going to probably have to take half of it off. Good old Chinese stuff. Right, let me just deal with that. So you know the Chinese are good at making Chinese puzzles. This is a good example.
Yes, the arrow, fully prepared now, fully
So
built,
it's on there,
and
but it sort of needs to
still wrong. All that
all got to come
effort,
apart to go
and
together.
all to no
It certainly
avail.
cannot be done on the car. Definitely not. It's just not worth it. So you can see here we've got the brackets on there, got the anti-roll bar on there. I'm now going to fit all this back on there, then link it up. We should have it done by then. Ah, the brackets are all upside down. I've got to take it all off again and turn the brackets over. Finally it's on. It's on here. It's not adjusted, it's not completely adjusted or done up. Yeah, the other thing is, you know, I've got to get this casing on, this gear casing. That's going to be almost impossible with this on. So, yeah, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I don't think it is. I mean, it's fine. I mean, it does what it's got rid of that slop, and I don't know if I can see it there. Look. I mean, yeah. I mean, it seems to. It's fiddly as arse. So fiddly. But with some adjustment on these links, I'm pretty sure we'll be alright. What's next? Well, we've got to turn the page. Let's do that next. It's got to be the top deck next, isn't it, really? So that was step 19, well, plus a few extras. The servo, centralise it. Another link. It says speed controller, which I haven't got to worry about that. Battery points, top deck, wheels and tyres. That's almost done. So the next step is going to be I'll install the servo. So the servo in question is this one. You can centralise it using one of these. So we won't have to have power. I've got to tidy up a little bit. I'm going to tidy up. I'm going to adjust this rear anti-roll bar onwards and whereverwards. I'll continue. So this is the servo. See that? How much focus haven't I got? Is that clear? I can't see it properly. But that's the servo. It is good quality. So it's metal. It's got metal gears. 8.4 volt. I'm hoping it'll work. Didn't really think of that. But we're going to put that in with some servo mounts. So I bought those as well, so for what they're worth. Right, we'll put the servo in. I've also readjusted the rear anti-roll bar. It's better now. So yeah, all good. It's taken the slop out of the wishbones. I'm hoping it stays. It's not going to get in the way of any like top deck. I hope not. Let's put this servo. Let's mount the servo. So I need to drill out the servo horn. So I bought one of them. It's like a hand drill, and it's just enough, and it goes through. So it's a little bit bigger. I don't know if it'll be big enough though. So this should, if this doesn't go in, it can be screwed in, but I can sort of screw that in now, sort of the ball end, and then secure it with a little nut. So I'll do that now. It needn't have been as hard as what it was, because it's easy, although I managed to somehow make it more difficult. But it's in Savox. Now it's the top deck, but it's got the installation of body posts. Depends on how it fits. Okay, so we've got a couple of body posts to go on. And what's that? Is that an aerial? Well, I'm not running an aerial, so I'm not going to put that on. But the body posts, I won't need the switch. So it's these. These are the kit ones. They're kit ones, so it's fine. And so they can go on. They go onto the upper deck. You can get this in metal. Pretty sure you can probably get it in carbon fibre as well. It's just a case of it going on like that. I'm going to fit this on, then I'll be back. It's almost out of shot, isn't it? But anyway, you kind of get the gist. Top deck's on. I haven't put anything on there regarding batteries, like the mounts, because I don't know what battery I'm going to use yet. But the top deck's on. Doesn't foul. It does rattle a little bit, so I can put some. I've got some body foam pads, which I can put over there a little bit, so it pushes it down and put them on. It'll stop it rattling like that. Nothing gets in the way, all works really well, like the anti-roll bar, so that's that. I think what we'll do, we're going to have to put the wheels on. That might take a little bit longer than I anticipate, because 3-piece, aren't they, like this? So we can put those on with the tyres, and then we'll leave it there for this part, and the next part will be building up the body shell. The other part, the electrics have got to go in, motor. So I don't know whether that will be a separate video, as in, then I'll do the body shell, so it's rolling, as in with the body shell on it, as another video, and then the electrics to go and do I say a running video. It's crap weather in the UK now, and will be forever and a day. So they're put on, they look really good. If I told you the story that made them so they took 4 times as longer than what they should have done, the whole video could be just made up of me just making mistakes. But right, let's get them on the chassis. This is the rolling chassis, no motor, just the servo. Anti-roll bars put on there, the top deck from when you last sort of, well, when I was doing bits and pieces. Yeah, I'll be honest, it's a bit stiff at the back. However, it hasn't got the motor in there, no battery, speed controller. I've got to put this on as well, because we're running some lights. Yeah, I've got to figure that out yet. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but the spur gear cover's not on yet, so that'll probably have to come off or somehow. But it feels quite good, even though it's still quite, although it's heavy. The rear spring could do with being a bit softer. Not sure how to do that. Could put softer oil in, but it is fairly soft. But I'm not going to mess around putting oil in this. Would be right ball ache taking all this off. The spring's fairly soft. I think it's more a case of just get the weight on there. If I put the car like that, I'm not sure how that rattles. I've got to sort that out and see how close this is to looking like a sand sculpture. I don't know. Saying these words that don't mean crap. I've got to put the clips on there. That's got a clip on for the roof, the plate. It looks alright, doesn't it? It's got quite a. It looks so much. Well, I don't think the camera does it justice with the wheels. It's got to sit slightly lower at the back there, which is fine. The bump at the front looks fine. Doesn't look ridiculous. Matches the rest of it. It's quite free running. Got the half shafts to go on. So I think what I'll do in the next video, we'll start putting the rest of it together. Now whether it will have a motor by then, I don't know. What do you think? Looks right, doesn't it? There's a bit of play in there. That's, like I say, in real life, looking in front of me, it looks amazing. I'm not. Hopefully the camera will pick up on that. The suspension feels fine. The front feels quite good. If I drop that, there is no weight in it really. The back will definitely go down more when I've got a motor in it. And it is a classic Tamiya off-road buggy from back in the day. Excellent. Nice free running gearbox. The diff's fine. Didn't want it too loose. Obviously we've got to do the dry shafts, so it won't come off again, and various bits and pieces for the shell. Driver figure, electronics. So I think the next video you'll see perhaps more of a completion. Body shell, stickers, maybe lights. I don't know if I get a motor in time yet, and a speed controller, because I don't know yet. If I do, then I do. Yeah, like that. So if you want to see this finished, give the video a like, follow the channel, and hit that bell thing, that little notification bell, and that will let you know when the next video is released. But that'll do for now. I enjoyed that. It's not nowhere near finished. Still got quite a bit to go yet. I'm moving it when I'm still talking, but we'll catch up with you on the next one. My big ugly mug in the way. Do you know what that is?